Certainly, this is where the action would be on a Tuesday evening like this. My name is Reginald Adi. Good evening to you, my very lovely and cherished viewers. I know you can see me, but I can see you in a way, and I can see that you're well poised and looking good as well behind your screens. Thank you for staying with Adoatv. Well, this is PM Ghana, and certainly over here we bridge the gap between the lawmakers and the populace. Now, tonight there is an issue, a matter between the lawmakers and a member of the populace. Well, I wouldn't bust that bubble yet. I want you to float in that bubble with me tonight. We'll be discussing two pertinent issues currently. Some just sprung up, and some sprung up a couple of days ago and have been of utmost concern to many Ghanaians, especially the youth. So I just gave you a hint. This is what we'll be looking at this evening. I'll be speaking to a guest via the phone lines, and certainly we have a guest inside of the studios as well. Let's take a quick time, just a quick one. When we come back, we'll go straight into the conversations. Do stay tuned.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Rwandair today. Rwandair, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African prints and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240-926-564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emil's Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
Many thanks to you for staying with us once again. You're watching PM Ghana here on Adoatv. My name is Reginald Adi, your most humble servant, and tonight, as I indicated, we'll be looking into two pertinent matters that sprang up just in this very young week and some over the weekend as well. Now, At a graduation ceremony, Honorable Minister for Finance, Honorable Ken Oforiatta, indicated that the government's payroll is full. This has brought about a whole lot of views. The conversation is out there, it's still ongoing. So tonight we're going to ask and address some of your concerns. So ask some of those questions that you want to understand. Now, in the meantime, this is quite a very young one. Just somewhere last night, we heard that dancehall musician Charles Niama, aka Shatta Wale, or sometimes known as Pa, and he has to go with that, signal. Well, as though he knew he was going to conduct himself in this manner with the Pa. This is basically, a symbolism for a gun. So yesterday we heard that Shatta Wale had been gunned down by some unknown men. We also heard that Shatta Wale was in a healthcare unit. Later on, in fines with some family members and those close relations to him, it was indicated that Shatta Wale was nowhere to be found. Now, later on, Shatta Wale comes out to apologize, indicating that this was a prank. However, the state of shock and unrest that the nation was thrown into, certainly because Shatta Wale is a public figure, and also looking at the accounts of events that led to what came up yesterday, there has been a whole twist to some of these things, and it seems that we are taking certain things for granted in the country. So if you missed the evening news tonight on Adoatv television, I have with me Justice Isaac Duche. He is a retired appeals court judge. Good evening. Let me say, my lord, and welcome to PM Ghana.
Thank you.
Well, so
it's a pleasure meeting you again.
Well, definitely. Yeah. Good to have you in the studios again. So, in the news, you spoke to Nafale Kwaku during the news broadcast segment. Now, I want us to go through some of the views that you expressed, just in case for those who missed the evening news. Now, what happened yesterday certainly threw the nation into some state of shock, some state of worry, anxiety all over and across. Just as was inquired of you, your first reaction, I mean, as a legal practitioner, what came into your mind?
Well, if Shatta Wale was reacting to the so-called prophecy about his death,
yes,
by gunshots, I think he was overreacting.
Right.
These kinds of prophecies are all over the place. Most of them never come true. So we should have known better. Now, in the law,
yes,
we particularly in criminal law or in law generally, we don't deal with spiritual matters.
Right.
We deal with physical matters. And for us, in the law, even though the state recognizes religion, when it comes to criminal offenses and other things, we don't look at matters spiritual, we look at matters physical. So if Shatta Wale had a weak mind or a weak heart or is a timorous soul,
right,
and just because someone stands somewhere and says some people are going to shoot him, he decides to claim that he has been shot, and then he goes into hiding. I think the conduct is very reprehensible, and he must answer for it.
Very well. Now, this is on the side of Shatta Wale, what he has done in response to what came as a prophecy. Now, I want us to look at, let's tackle this from the root cause in itself. So he says that he was reacting, to the prophecy, which means that certainly something triggered the action. Can we go back to look at Bishop Appiah's prophecy about Shatawale's demise through the same nature that he exhibited or proclaimed yesterday. Now, in as much as the law doesn't deal with spirituality, could the law also deal with the pronouncement of the certain death of another individual through whichever means?
See, that prophet probably has no track record on how many prophecies he has accurately made. I don't know whether he has any track record of any successful prophecies he has made, which people have either died or gotten money or gotten fame. I'm not too sure that he has that track record.
Certainly.
And sometimes you have to look at somebody's track record. How many people's death has that prophet prophesied and has come to pass? I don't think that he can have any track record.
Certainly, he may not have any track record.
Now let me conclude.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not clear whether Shatawale is a member of his church or subscribes to his beliefs.
Right.
And in which case those prophecies will affect him. So if Shatawale is, I'm a Christian, but that kind of prophecy will never affect me.
I see.
Because in my church, we don't believe in this kind of nasty prophecies. They are all useless prophecies.
No, why do you call them useless prophecies?
It doesn't yield any benefit. How can you go and prophesy that somebody is going to die by gunshot, but if you go and see somebody to pray for him and then the gunshot will not come? We believe that if you are going to die, you will die.
Right. Well,
no matter how much prayer or intercession you have, if nobody is coming to stay on this earth forever.
Certainly.
Then nobody can claim that he can see people's death.
Well, so now this is what I'm trying to get at. So somebody has said that a person is going to die by gunshots. Now, I don't know if in the spiritual realm there is any form of gun. I don't know whether it's a 9mm, an AK, M19, or whatever. I sincerely do not know. But we know that guns are physical objects. And so for somebody to state that a person is going to die through gunshots, shouldn't it have been expedient of the national security to then start looking into whatever accounted for this pronouncement? If there is a spiritual aspect, obviously it's going to take some form of physical manifestation, unless perhaps he was shot spiritually, which I think that state security did not do so much to look into, because if it was going to happen spiritually, then perhaps it should have been dealt that way. But he mentioned that it was going to happen through a gunshot. Are there any legal means or legal procedures to look into such pronouncements?
I would have been very surprised if the police went about looking for who is going to kill Shatawale by gunshot. The prophecy is so imprecise, lacks detail, lacks depth, lacks everything that you can think of as far as law is concerned. He didn't mention any names. He didn't mention any venue. He didn't mention any occasion. He didn't mention any time. So it is.
But he said 18th August.
That is not time. That is a date.
That's date. Okay, well.
So what are the police going to do? Go and form, take the whole police force and go and form a cordon against in Shatawale's house to prevent the people from coming to attack him, or what? Isn't it possible that is, in circumstances like this, possibly even people who are closer to him could have committed it, because many murders are committed by people who are close. It's not people who are coming from outside to come and attack.
Right.
So are they going to sit in his house and guard everybody who is in the house? It is absolutely unnecessary for police to go chasing after that kind of prophecy. And there are so many of them. If the police are going to chase after all these kind of prophecies, then the police will have no job,
no
tangible time to do any serious business. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I think the law is concerned, it's an absolute nonsense
Well, so if the law,
of a prophecy.
if the law considers such prophecies as absolute nonsense, why hasn't there been any law in your vein as a legal practitioner? Why hasn't there been any law to regulate some of these activities in churches? Because at least when you go to the hospitals, for instance, there is what we call the patient-doctor confidentiality. That when there is anything about a patient, and the doctor cannot just publicly go out there, and even whom he decides to speak to on that matter, there must be some level of consent from the patient or somebody who is close or in direct relation to the patient. In the same manner, prophecies come and it is spread into the public domain. Now anybody, like you said, anybody at all, or somebody within the circles of the victim or the proposed victim, could decide to perpetrate same crime and say that it was in the name of a prophecy. Why hasn't the law looked into such matters?
See, the law doesn't believe in speculations. And the law will not allow you to speculate anything.
Okay.
That's the reason why I may have sympathy for Satawale if he belongs to the prophet's church.
Okay.
Then probably the prophet might have some influence over him. And in which case then he owes him a duty of privacy and all those kind of things. But I don't know whether Satawale belongs to the prophet's church. And it is very unfair for prophets to go about prophesying the deaths of very popular people who don't even attend their churches, and then ask them to go and look for prayers from somewhere else. It's a very abusive conduct on behalf of those prophets, particularly in a country where so many people are gullible, so many people are very believing, and once you say that you are a prophet, everybody begins to believe in you.
Exactly.
People cannot draw a difference between an ordinary magician and the prophet. Everybody gets up and then says he has seen God. But sometimes they are even on the brink of crazy. I think they are psychopaths. Some of them are psychopaths.
I see.
They are not normal people.
Wow.
And people should not believe in them.
Certainly there is some abnormality there. Some of them are not normal people. Yes. Some of them are angels. They say we have their names. I mean, their names suggest that some of them are angels, amongst other things. But now it seems as though we have supernatural beings living amongst us, and we don't have laws that regulates these supernatural human beings. It seems funny, but this is what it is. We have supernatural human beings, and there are no laws. So imagine we have extraterrestrials living amongst us. How would we coexist if there were no laws to regulate the activities of these extraterrestrials?
Well, I don't know about extraterrestrials the way you are looking at it.
Well,
but I don't think angels live here on earth. Okay. They are not permanent humans who are living here on earth. The only supernatural being in the Bible who came to live on earth stayed only for 30 days, 33 years. And he was born in a special circumstance. This guy is, nobody even know where his mother comes from or who he is and how he has come to claim all this fame and to have talking to God. Sometimes the passive people hear people talking to God. They are hallucinations. They are hallucinating. They are on the brink of madness, and you have to take them to mental hospital to go and examine them to see whether they are properly, their heads are properly screwed on or not. But unfortunately, all these people become leaders in their self-imposed leaders on their people, and it's unfortunate.
Well, for somebody who doesn't believe in all these spiritualities amongst other things, my Lord, I must say that you know your Bible a lot with the way you proclaimed the angels amongst other things. But my Lord, let's look at these open prophecies and their impact on society. There is a saying that religion is the opium of the masses, and like you rightfully declared, a lot of people tend to believe these self-acclaimed men of God, or perhaps indeed men of God, who make prophecies throws the nation, or perhaps their followers, who hitherto could have been using their time profitably, to spend all of those moments in church, sometimes misleading them, sometimes causing them to do outrageous things, like, stripping naked in public, sometimes lashing them for appearing in their dreams, giving them lotto numbers and they not going by them, amongst other things. If there is any spiritual occurrence, I think that it should happen spiritually. Why come in the physical to abuse people, to cause people to do inhuman things? And we sit and the Lord watches for some of these things to happen where there are human rights, my Lord.
Lack of knowledge. For lack of knowledge, our people perish. Many of these so-called Bible believers can't even read the Bible. They don't read the Bible. Some of these so-called prophets always misquote the Bible verses. If they quote for you and you go and look, you will find that there's nothing there. They are just misquoting anything. They haven't been to Bible school. They don't know anything. When Jesus came, he went to school. He learned. And he argued with professors in the temple. When he detached himself from his parents, when he got lost, he was one in the temple discussing with the old men in the temple. So it meant that he had a knowledge base. Some of these people cannot even read English or Twi or whatever vernacular it is. They can't read anything. And when you hear them preach, they don't quote anything. They don't dilate on anything. It's only miracle, 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 and so on and so forth. And they thrive on issuing spiritual truths. Truths that cannot be verified. They're not verifiable in any way. And I dare say, how many of them can post a track record of successful prophecies? I challenge them. How many of them? The one in Jesus Ahofe. How many successful prophecies?
So who is that?
They said Jesus Ahofe. That's what they call him.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Ahofe.
Right, Bishop Apia. Right.
Yeah, Bishop Apia. Jesus Ahofe.
I see.
From where did he start to become a bishop? He sets up his own church, and then within a short while he becomes a bishop. Bishop is a position which you gain over a long period of working. You just don't get up and then you start life as a bishop. If you understand bishop very well.
Certainly.
So for me, it's unfortunate that Awole has done what he has done. He might suffer the consequences.
Why would Chatawale have to be the one to suffer the consequences? I think that he in his explanation, if you look into the explanation and you connect the dots, you realize that he acted out of fear and panic, which is as a result of direct open prophecy on his life, prophecy about death prophecies on his life. Now he decided to go and hide, feign perhaps the manifestation of the prophecy, to make whoever made the prophecy believe that, okay, it has happened. Now I'm saying this because in some research that I have conducted, it has been said that prophecies can be dangerous in the fact that they may mislead the public into believing into something that is not worthwhile. And in some cases, these same people who make the prophecies turn out to map out plans to execute what they said in the prophecies so that they would gain some level of credibility. So you take a look at this prophecy of death, that he would be shot on 18th October 2021, and should whoever made the prophecy want to gain that credibility, he could find a way to execute the same just to make himself popular. At the end of the day, like he asked, how many prophecies have they made right? And this would have accounted for one of those. Why should Shatta be the one to suffer?
Because he has patently misbehaved. See, if he felt that threatened, he could have just walk to the police station and say, look, I've been threatened by so and so. I want you to protect me for till the end of the day.
He was running away from guns, and the police station, there are guns over there. My lord.
Yeah, there are guns. Guns at the police station are meant for his protection.
Okay.
All the guns at the police station are meant for the public good.
Right.
They're not supposed to be used against the public.
Right.
So if somebody is pursuing you with a gun and you can run, the best place to go to is a police station where you have better guns and better trained people to handle and protect you. So if he has sought proper advice, he's matured now. He has a lot of money now. He could engage the services of counsel in matters like this, and then do this. But he has behaved very, very immaturely. Seriously, he has behaved very immature. I like him a lot. I love his music. Yes.
Which one is your favorite?
All of them.
All of them.
All of them. I love his music.
Right.
I love his music.
Right.
Yes. And but this time he has shot himself in the foot.
In the foot.
He should have sought legal advice, but the prophecy didn't come on the 18th. It came probably a while back.
Before, yes.
A while back, and he should have sought legal advice. He has a means to seek legal advice. He has a means to even retain a lawyer. Probably a lawyer may even give him the service free of charge. You know, so he has led himself into all this. He hasn't been shot. So is he also crazy to allege that he has been shot?
Well, so he says that he picked up the phones of his crew members to misinform the public in the manner he did, as we saw yesterday. And so what are some of the charges that could Shatta could be facing in court? I mean, you have been in such areas.
He could face a charge of causing public fear and panic.
Right.
He could also face the charge of deceit of the public generally. You know,
and that is different from causing fear and panic.
Yes, that's different from causing fear and panic.
Wow.
Yeah. Because now he had deceived everybody. He hasn't been shot. He has no injury. He's in the hospital. So where is he? You know, is he also crazy? As he needs, maybe he needs some psychological assessment as well to find out whether the threat of death has affected him psychologically and therefore pushed him to do this despicable thing that he has done. But I think that going forward, there should be a way we will discuss as a nation and find out whether some of these things cannot be controlled by law. Certainly,
there must be a way forward. So
if you are a prophet and you think that somebody is going to face something, it's a private matter. I don't just throw it out to the general public like that, you know, and cause fear and panic in those who believe. Me, for example, if you do that, I won't believe it. As a judge, I've been through a lot of things.
So this is not something
psychological threats, with people throwing black powder on your table and people throwing dead frogs in your chambers or at the door of your chambers.
Oh, you've seen all of these?
All these things are just psychological nonsense.
I see.
Absolutely nonsense.
So have you been through any, of such spiritual or what is supposed to be some form of spiritual whatnot?
I don't think that they are spiritual. They are just psychological. Okay. Psychological, putting psychological fear in you so that you lose your guard and then
right.
I don't think that those things really work. I've never seen anything like that work. I've heard of a lot of them, but I've never seen anything like that work. And I've been through it everywhere. I've seen it in Ghana. I've seen it in Nigeria, and I worked in Nigeria before.
Oh, I see.
As a prosecutor, I've seen all those things being done. It doesn't work. If you fear, it might affect you, but if you don't fear, it doesn't. No, I'm not a very spiritual person
in that sense.
In that sense,
right.
For those kind of things to affect me or threaten me or to put fear in me.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I'm here with Justice Isaac Duche. He's a retired appeals court judge. Many things I'm learning so far, and as he has indicated, Shatawale could be facing some charges in court, but as of now, Shatawale is at large, and the Ghana Police Service is encouraging every individual who knows the whereabouts of Shatawale to give him up. I'm wondering if that would even be feasible, considering that he has a lot of fans, and Justice Isaac Doche is one of them. Well, still watching PM Ghana. Let's take a quick detour. When we come back, we'll talk about one aspect that seems to become a fashion in our lifestyle right now. I'm talking about pranks. Now it is fetching a lot of money for people, especially on YouTube. It has become a form of entertainment, endangering the lives of other people in the name of pranks whilst you make your money. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
John, who fin wow, Eddie, what boy juma. I check a roofina, or you fell one cassa from Asatek. Oh, na Simon, roofing is a baby bray, nice keke. Why the catcher? Asatek roofing sheet today, and your nice keke, with the bodan swa a chee, and renache. They want a calisa who do for fair be bray. No free roofing sheet, no dear. Who near that will be out. Now, so the bodan swa, a year supampe. What means to Roma send your open roofing sheet, and you tell the salmon pepe. Mamma poor Asatek when you're there. One of my technical advice na estimate free or professional installers and so on your on-site installation. Oh yes, quality and with the feminine. Asatek 5 days pay na musa can order. Now a year after sales service proper binso. Sheshe Asatek Watema Community 2 Meridian Road at Benkoko Board Warehouse Western Region. So Asatek Watakra de Anaji Yeni Princeland Hotel and Edition and a Volta Region Yawa Akachi South District Assembly Kwainosua.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with RwandAir today. RwandAir, the safest airline in Africa.
RwandAir, fly the dream of Africa.
Blue City is a manufacturer and supplier of high-quality fashion accessories. We design and make quality bow ties, flying ties, lapel pins, ladies' brooches, fabric necklaces, African wares, and so much more for your weddings, schools, institutions, bands, choir, singing groups, individuals, and so many more. We use both African print and foreign fabrics to make your beautiful accessories for you. Oh yeah! Contact us via call or WhatsApp or SMS on 0240-926-564. Locate us at Odoko Official Town opposite Emils Preparatory School. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Blue City Fashion. Blue City, creativity and style.
Hello everyone, my name is Sanaya Boa, the founder of TNU Fitness, which is a lifestyle change movement for women. As part of our vision to empower women to take charge over their health and wellness, we are super excited to partner with Sonatech Medical and Diagnostic Center in their fight against breast cancer. every 15 seconds, a woman somewhere in the world is being diagnosed of breast cancer. Breast cancer is still the leading cause of death in women worldwide. According to World Health Organization, the treatment of breast cancer is most effective when it's detected early. Let's take action. Get screened today. Encourage another woman to get screened for free between the 1st of October to the 31st of October. You can also enjoy a 20% off all mammogram and a whooping 50% off all breast ultrasound. In any of the branches of Sonatech, you can visit their West Hill Mall branch, their Tema branch, and their Osu branch. Let's join in this fight against breast cancer, because it is our hope that one day no woman will die because of breast cancer. Thank you.
Thanks to you for staying with us. You're watching PM Ghana. My name is Reginald Adi, and I'm here with Justice Isaac Dose. He is a retired appeals court judge, and we've been discussing the Shatawale matter, the incidents that led to the incident yesterday, where Shatawale feigned his attempted assassination. And it's interesting how things have turned around, because at the end of the day, Shatawale has come out to indicate that it was a false pronouncement and that he took the phones of his crew members. And I think that is some exceptional leadership there, taking responsibility for having put in somebody else into some form of trouble. He said that he took the phones himself and he posted those messages. Now, he posted on Facebook earlier, I beg your pardon, earlier today, and we have some excerpts from that. Let's quickly go through before we wrap up with justice. He says that I won't wait for Ghana police to call my father and tell my father his son got shot this afternoon. I won't wait for Ghana media houses to spread news to my fans about me being shot, because all we wish in this country is for dead people and funerals. If my life can be threatened and there is no law to take actions on that, then I guess I will do what is right in the eyes of God. What is right in the eyes of God. So Justice notes that's some level of spirituality in there. He says in the eyes of God. Now, the statement made by this false prophet has gotten to me in a mood of has gotten me in a mood of violence, since no one in this country cares. How? Justice cares. So the police of this country want to tell me none of them saw those threatening statements online to take action. This pastor said 18th October, Shatawale will be shot. And you want to tell me you didn't see from your cybercrime department, nor did you hear or come across anything like that online? Well, he indicated that psychological or emotional trauma is damage or injury to the psyche after living through an extremely frightening or distressing event, and may result in challenges in functioning or coping normally after the event. And that's Shatawale on some psychological definition there. It says psychological or emotional trauma is damage or injury to the psyche after living through an extremely frightening or distressing event, and may result in challenges in functioning or coping normally after the event. This is actually the first paragraph of that statement. Now, He goes on to say that this is not the first time I have had these threats in this country. I am going through these emotional trauma alone. My dad has even defended me on radio in this same issue. Why? Ghana? Why? Yes, my life is in danger and I'm on the run till this country shows me there are laws. Interesting. Deportee, I'm sorry for taking your phone. Dope, sorry for taking your phone. To my fans, I'm sorry, but I will have to fight this fight alone and get it done. To my dad, I say sorry for putting you through stress. It goes on, he says that pastors are always saying things and later plan evil to it. So that to me, and you will believe they are powerful men of God. Yes, enough is enough. The youth of this country are tired of religiousness. We know God already, and that is that. If this will make me stop music, like how many want me to stop, then so be it. Okay, if this will make me stop music like how many want me to stop, then so be it. Because I am tired of the negativity in this country. Son of Ghana, one done. In parenthesis, Shatta Wale. So this is Shatta Wale's beautiful statement to Ghanaians. There are important things to note as well. Justice Isaac Dose here does not believe so much in spirituality, but here I'm going to throw this on you again. Now he says that he acted something on God. He brings God in here. God is a spiritual being. He has based his actions yet on another spiritual entity. How then do we deal with this, since the laws do not deal with spirituality?
I was listening to you very carefully. In the opening paragraph, he describes the pastor as fake.
Yes.
So that destroys everything that he's saying. If you know that the person is fake, then the prophecy shouldn't affect you the way you are going about it.
See.
Once it is fake, you can't believe in it. If you are a man of faith.
So if you can identify that something is fake, then you should stay away from it.
Yeah, you shouldn't bother you at all. So there's something worrying Shatta Wale himself. Either he's playing a prank on the whole society, which is a very highly irresponsible conduct.
Now, he also defines a psychological or emotional trauma. He said that it is damage or injury to the psyche after living through an extremely frightening or distressing event and may result in challenges in functioning or coping normally after the event. I don't know to what extent you agree with this, but this is something I highlighted earlier, that there is some form of...
I disagree absolutely with him on that issue. If you read the first paragraph of the statement, that it says the pastor or the prophet is fake.
Yes.
Once you have determined that the person is fake, you'll be crazy to believe what he has said. You understand what I mean? If he had said that he believes as a man, powerful man of God, blah, 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 and so on and so forth, and therefore the prophecy has affected him, and therefore he was thrown into fear and panic, and all that, and then he stopped, he had psychological trauma and all those kind of things, then fine, I'll agree with him. But once he opened up to say that the man, the so-called man of God is fake, what's a big deal?
Well, let's put Shatta Wale aside and look at the masses that are suffering, the masses who find an opium in, the church, in their pastors. They find, opium defines it all. In these pastors, some of them are forced to act or seeking whatever prophecy that has been, spelled out to them, derailing them from the natural realities of life.
You see, my brother or my son, whichever you want, this issue is a question of blind faith.
Okay.
And when you talk about our faith in that direction, it's an unreasonable belief in something.
Okay.
You cannot justify it, and yet you believe in it, and nobody can persuade you to disbelieve in it. And when you talk about blind faith in that point, that's what I said. That I don't believe in that kind of spirituality.
Right.
Spirituality.
Right.
Because if you read the Bible, particularly the New Testament very well, most of the people who presented it, particularly St. Paul, he made arguments. He rationalized most of the things that he had to do. And if you study the life and times of Jesus Christ very well, he didn't go up setting up camps to heal people, like some of them are doing now, healing camps. He didn't set up hospitals. Whenever he had compassion on people, he healed them or helped them. He didn't go out to lure people into the bush and in order to feed them, but they followed him to a certain extent, and they felt that it was time for them to eat, and there was no food around. And so, out of compassion, he did that. He didn't go out threatening anybody. I don't remember reading the Bible where Jesus Christ ever issued any threats against anybody, that the person was going to die or whatever he was going to do. It never occurred as far as Jesus Christ.
But Jesus prophesied that Peter, one of his disciples, was going to betray him by the crow of the cock, and indeed this came to pass. So prophecies are a thing, and if we can cite or perhaps this, unless these things do not have any bearing legally.
Legally, prophecies are not recognized.
So what if this had come from a pastor who has made prophecies, or who has spelled prophecies that have come to pass, several prophecies that has come to pass? Because in your opening statement you asked about their credibility, how many of these prophecies they make come to pass. What if this was coming from a pastor? Should we then have taken it seriously? Should we then have had police going there to protect Shatta Wale, or to look into the matter?
If that pastor is able to give further details,
okay,
and not just throw the matter out at large. As I was saying, I'm yet to see the statistics of those kinds of prophecies. They should come out with the statistics,
right,
about how many successful prophecies they have done, and line up the people whose prophecies they have successfully done. Because I believe sincerely that if God will not just reveal to anybody that somebody is going to be shot, but then if somebody goes to offer a prayer, the shooting will not come on. I don't believe that that's the kind of way Christianity is supposed to go.
All right, my lord, you indicated that you'd be surprised if the police went on to Shatta Wale to provide protection based on that said prophecy. But earlier today we heard in the news that the same pastor had been picked up by the police. I don't know for what reason, but certainly he has been picked up after this whole thing was should I say abstractly enacted by Shatta Wale. Is there any justification to that?
I'm surprised, and I'm wondering why the police picked the man up, because I'm wondering what they are trying to go. They are going to get
on what basis
out of him. See, if I threaten you with a gun, I have threatened you. But if I say that some unknown persons are going to kill you and all those kind of things, then it is up to the police initially to find out from him the details of the prophecy. And normally they will tell you it's a vision I saw from God. God spoke to me, and so on and so forth. When you talk like that to the police, you are on the brink of madness. It's only mad people who talk like that. The police cannot act on it.
Justice, can based on this I don't know if I should call it a loop in the law. Shatta Wale says that the laws of the country are not working, and he would only come back when he finds out that the laws of the country are working. Could this be a gap in the law, in the laws of the country that need to be fixed? Because like you're saying, if spirituality cannot be ascertained, then anybody can just wake up and do anything and say that they were led by that spirit that is intangible to our laws.
Yes, something can be done. What can be done is to let the prophets respect the privacy of the individual.
Right.
So, if a person is a member of your church and you see something about him, and you want to prophesy, or your prophecy comes out about him, it is not for you to put it out there in the general public. Just in case somebody else who is crazy will pick up your prophecy and go and do what
Exactly.
you have prophesied, so that the prophecy will come true. When Jesus Christ prophesied that one of his disciples were going to betray him, one of them did it. But who knew who was going to do it? But that is not the situation here. Shatta Wale says the man is fake. So, in that dismissive mood,
Right.
he shouldn't have done what he has done. And I don't know how the police who have picked up the man are going to find out from him when the person against whom the prophecy has been made himself declares him as fake.
Interesting. So more like Shatta Wale has actually destroyed his case.
It destroyed his case. How can you say you are reacting to a fake prophet's prophecy? It doesn't make sense to me.
Certainly. Now, surprisingly, Shatta Wale took to use what in our current, environment, or in modern times, seems to be a friendly thing. Seems to be something that we are all used to. Pranks.
The pranks.
The pranks. Now,
the most famous prank we have is the April Fool prank.
Certainly. April Fool.
April Fool prank.
Globally acclaimed.
Everybody knows that once you realize that the date on which you have been pranked, that's the end of the matter.
And certainly, we heard about some countries that placed a should I say curfew or caveat on April Fool's Day, that by 12 p.m. it should cease.
Yes,
and some level of pranks were also not accepted.
Yes.
I mean, in modern times, there are some laws that are being instituted because people were taking the pranks out of board. Now, in current times, people are making money through pranks. Most of the famous YouTubers who have a lot of money today are making their money through pranks. Now, we all enjoy, to some extent, seeing people being pranked. People standing by the roadside, somebody runs and then, takes off their trousers. And you can't react because they say, oh, it's a prank. Look at the camera. And the camera is justification enough that it's a prank. And so take it in good faith and just walk away. Are there any legal implications of pranks?
There are some pranks which are harmless.
Okay.
And you take it in your stride as they come. But there are some of them which are dangerous, harmful. We have a harmful capacity and waste capacity. For example, when you have to travel in pursuance of the substance of the prank, only to find that you have been pranked. That is highly irresponsible.
Right.
And in depending on the circumstances, people can be sued for those kind of pranks. Yes.
Right. So
because they can cause emotional trauma, the kind of emotional and trauma Shatta Wale is talking about, which he himself has created for himself.
Interesting.
Yes. So Shatta Wale You are my friend, but today this one you have failed.
He has failed.
You have
All right.
disappointed
So
me.
he's your friend. You're a fan of him. You love his music.
Yes.
It's unfortunate that he has gotten himself into this kind of mess
Yes, yes,
as a result of the same prophecy from a person he deems fake.
Yes.
In wrapping up, what advice would you give to Shatawale? Because right now, the police is in wants of him, and the more he keeps himself away, I believe that this could also amount to obstruction of justice, or perhaps, I don't know what other legal term.
Or he has made himself a fugitive from the law,
Right.
and he can't hide forever. I don't think it is his nature or it is to his advantage to go into hiding. His profession is a public profession, and going into hiding will not help him in any way. The best thing he can do is come out and apologize frankly to everybody and quickly as well. Yes.
Well,
If he did this in order to seek attention, it's a wrong, it's a miscalculated, it's a wrong move, highly miscalculated, and probably if you can call a press conference and apologize to the generality of the Ghanaian public,
right.
fine, because the police would always want to grab him because everybody was anxious, everybody was panicked, you know, and particularly
I'm sure that even yourself you were worried.
I was worried. When I heard it, I said, "Oh my, what happened?"
Your guy. Well, Justice, thank you very much for your time this evening. Before I go, let me take advantage of your presence here. You have practiced law for how many years now?
About 38 years.
Well, about 38 years now. How was it? I mean, getting into
48 years.
48
sorry.
years.
48
Wow.
years,
So in
40,
2 years' time,
I'll be 50. We have done 50 years.
wow.
About 50
wow.
years, yes.
We would have to
Actually,
celebrate.
47 years.
47 actually.
Yes.
Okay, so we are heading towards the 48 year.
2024, I will have done 50 years.
Wow. Now, in your time, when you were preparing to go to law school, what was it like? I mean, writing, was there something like writing entrance exams to get into law school, amongst other things? I want to find out, because this has brought a lot of agitation amongst several LLB holders who want to go to the Ghana Law School. Several of them passed, and later on it came out that many of them cannot get into the law school. How was it in your time, and what do you think is happening now?
In my time, there was only one faculty of law in Ghana,
Okay.
Legon, and you had to take an entrance examination
Okay.
to read law.
Okay.
I believe it was a sort of an aptitude test.
Right.
And if you took that examination even before you start for the A levels,
Right.
and it was a tough examination.
Right.
I remember in my time about 800 of us took the examination.
I see.
We took the examination in the Great Hall of the University of Ghana. All the art students who thought they were tough congregated. We took the examination, and after the examination, we attended an interview before you were selected.
Right.
And in my time, out of about the 800 who took the examination, only 32 of us had entrance to the law school.
To the law school.
So the class
32
was
out of
32.
800.
32 out of 800.
Wow.
It has always been tough. Really, 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 really tough.
Wow.
Very tough. It has always been very tough. So I'm not surprised it's still as tough as it used to be,
Right.
except that the allegations and counter allegations of people being smuggled in and all those kind of things is worrying. It's worrying because they have not been substantiated,
Yes.
and it detracts from the seriousness of the business of the law school.
Right.
The this thing started a few years back, and it is not clear exactly what the problem is, but the problem does exist. And I think that it is time a bar, bench, and faculty hold a meeting,
right,
and judge all the way out of the problem, because we are wasting money in the same vein, in the sense that people who shouldn't go out with foreign exchange, send foreign exchange to places like Gambia, Rwanda, Nigeria, and so on and so forth, to go and qualify and come back. And some of the time they qualify before those who are actually here do qualify.
Yes.
And it is not, I don't know the principle behind the new way of doing things, but I think it's disturbing, and the bar, the bench, and the faculty should really sit down and work on this. It's not as if there are no people to teach the law in this country. There are a lot of people who can actually teach the law and do it very well. If the purpose is to control the numbers, then maybe, I don't know how best you can go about it. But I can tell you that going into the law school in the past has been very tough.
Right.
And if they stay tough, I think it is in the right vein that it should be tough, because if you want the best,
certainly,
then you have to stretch the person very well in order to get to where the person has to get to.
Great.
Yeah. But there's also a misconception which I want the whole public to know.
Right.
It's not everybody who goes to law school and becomes a lawyer who must go to court.
Okay.
There are many things that lawyers do.
Okay.
And they can be solicitors in the banks, private companies. They can be police. They can enter the police force.
Oh, I see.
They can enter the armed forces. They can enter customs. They can. Right now, as I'm speaking, it is required that every district assembly should have
a lawyer.
A lawyer.
Right.
And that's the 200 and something. How many district assemblies do you have? 270 something district assemblies, and
probably so.
People have got jobs there. And when they say you should have a lawyer, it doesn't mean that a single lawyer should be there. Some of them, like Accra, Kumasi, can have about 4 or 5 lawyers, because these are big institutions. Apart from that, we have the Attorney General's department always crying for lawyers and so on and so forth. And the bench too, you know, currently there are less than 400, about 400 lawyers for the whole, judges for the whole country, right from the Supreme Court down to the magistrates.
Is that in excess, or that is rather not enough?
It is not enough. If you put 400 people to 30 million, the ratio.
But certainly this is not, I mean, this is not like policing where you would need all of these numbers. I mean, or perhaps the ratio, because certainly you ask yourself, how many courts do we even have for you know, some of these legal practitioners, you know, to see to cases in, amongst other things. Now, in the case of writing the exams and the difficulty of the exams, I certainly agree with you where you say that it is necessary to stretch the competencies of these, you know, aspiring legal practitioners. But in this case, these are 499 students who pass exams and are denied admission. Yeah,
once again, it is an allegation which is being thrown up and down, and the organizers of examination have not come out to tell us their side of the story. Certainly, if we heard their side of the story, then we'll be having a balanced view about what is happening. Now we are hearing of the complaints only. I'm not too sure, but I've heard that the circular introducing the examination expected them to score a minimum of 50% as a pass mark.
Yes.
And now they are saying that since the examination was in 2 parts, they were expected to score 50% in each part. And that since some have scored less than 50% in one part or the other, they are not qualified. Now, I haven't seen all those things, so I'm not too sure whom to believe, because I don't like the situation in which you believe only the complainant or the so-called victim, and then start blaming.
Certainly, you are a justice, so these things will come in handy for you.
So I have to see. I have to see a tangible evidence of all these things before I come to the conclusion that there's something seriously wrong. But I think that this problem started in the past 5 or 6 years when this admission rules
exactly went on demonstration among other things.
The police beat them up, making matters worse and all those kind of things. So it is time perhaps people own up and though the 3 main players in legal education meet and really take a proper
decision, come to a consensus.
And on the way forward, so that everybody knows exactly what he's doing. See, we learned from the British.
Okay.
But the British have 2 kinds of lawyers.
Right.
Some are known as barristers, and others are known as solicitors.
Right.
And solicitors had their role to play, and barristers had their role to play in England. But here we are putting both the solicitor and the barrister in the same person. So it makes it more difficult to qualify.
Right.
Maybe if we go back to those from whom we learned it and copy exactly what they do, then perhaps these things will go on. It's not every lawyer who is eloquent and can stand in court and argue.
Right.
Some are very good writers.
Right.
So in Britain, those who are very good writers take the solicitors
right.
the license, and those who are eloquent take the barrister's action. But here we are expecting everybody to be a barrister.
Yes.
And the solicitor at the same
time.
It can be part of the problem.
Right. One problem identified there. Do you think that one of those problems is the opening up of the LLB training or tutorship? Like you said, in your time there was only one faculty. Now this has been spread to several campuses. And I remember some time ago, then Chief Justice Sophia Akufu indicated that the masses, the students are calling for the mass production of lawyers. She said that under her watch, it will not happen. Do you think that it was a wrong decision to have opened up the faculties to several institutions where a lot, in your time, even that one faculty was producing about how many? 800. Now we have
not 800,
more than 800,
less than 800.
Okay.
I told you that
those who
800 started for the examination
very well,
and 32 passed. At the end of the day, after the examination and after the written examination and after the interview.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That's
right. So now we are producing masses.
Yes.
Right. Do you think that was a wrong decision?
I don't think that's a wrong decision. You see, education is very important. And I can tell you that I had certain classmates who never went to court. One of my classmates even became a pastor. After qualifying for the law, he became a pastor.
Right.
And never practiced law. So So to assume that everybody who goes to the law school will eventually become a barrister arguing cases in court is not exactly quite right. Yes. And some do it just because they want to know the law and enhance their businesses and so on and so forth. There are so many of them. Yeah, right now there are a lot of mature people who are about to retire from whatever they are doing. Mature policemen, soldiers, and so on and so forth. Who are obviously they are not going to practice the law.
Right.
For me, I preferred if younger people were encouraged to go to, so they will stay longer and then become Supreme Court judges and
certainly.
But if you have too many older people in there, the chances are that by the time they finish, they'll be 50 and 60 years old, and that's
already hitting retirement.
It's already retirement. So if care is not taken, the older people will use experience to beat the younger people in the classes, and at the end of the day, the profession itself might suffer.
Right,
yes.
Certainly. Well, Justice, thank you very much for your time. I'm having this information from my producer that two policemen are in custody for spreading false information in connection with alleged gunshot attack on Shatawale. If you go on to read, it says that two are in custody for spreading false information in connection with alleged gunshot attack on Shatawale. Not two policemen, two in custody. Says that the police have today, 19 October 2020, arrested Kojo Wusu Kranting, also known as Nana Dope. So the same dope that Shatawale apologized to. Oh, okay. And then Eric.
Well, you use their phone to do that.
Exactly. Eric Venato, alias Ganji. For allegedly spreading false information with the intention to cause fear and panic. Says the arrest of the suspect is in response to the alleged circulation of false claims on the alleged gunshot attack on Shatawale. Preliminary investigations by the police revealed that the widely reported gunshot attack on Shatawale yesterday on Monday, October 2020, was a hoax. Shatawale and one other person, popularly referred to as deportee, are currently being pursued for their possible involvement in knowledge of the circulation of false information with the intention to cause fear and panic. No one will be spared if police investigations point to their possible criminal culpability in this matter. We want to caution any individual or group to desist from making false claims and engaging in acts capable of disturbing the peace of the country, because the law will come after you. So I think that at this point, Shatawale, your own works have caught up with you, and I hope that moving on from here, some lessons will be learned, so that, I mean, we have a peaceful industry. I am not so much of an entertainment person. I mean, on the low key, yes, I'm into entertainment some way, somehow. But the entertainment scene in the country, with all the noise and all the unnecessary alarms and all of these things, Shatawale himself at some point has threatened to beat some other musicians. So I think that you should talk to your friend, and Salasi should also stop disturbing me as well. Justice Dose, thank you very much for your time this evening, and I'm grateful for the knowledge that you have shared with us. I apologize sincerely that we couldn't bring you the conversation on the matter of a cap on employment in the government sector. Well, if you follow our program lineup, you realize that PM Ghana is just an annex or an appendix to AM Ghana. So do join us tomorrow morning on AM Ghana, where we digest and look at some of the policies that the government has put in place and why they can no longer employ. My name is Reginald Addy, and many thanks to you for watching. What has been a pleasure serving you. I'll see you tomorrow morning on AM Ghana. Until then, enjoy the rest of our programs on Adoatv. We are out.
Sueña,